Hey, what's up everybody? This is Josiah from The Works Guitars, and today's lead guitar video is Lead Guitar Fridays, and we have two levels that are coming at you here. Level one of this is going to be very simple. I'm just talking about scale modes and how they all kind of work together. Level two of this, which is going to be directly after this, you can skip ahead if you'd like, and you'll see the time right here in this segment. It should be running across right up here in this corner, and it will tell you what time you should go to if you just want to skip to part two. But part one in this, we're going to talk about the scale modes and just kind of their relationship between each other. Everything's going to be in the key of C, and but part two is going to be much more important. It's about all the different notes and how they sound under each chord, and what you can really look for. Now remember, this is, as a Lead Guitar Friday video, yes, it's going to be a pretty great video, but in the whole grand scheme of things, it's going to be rather incomplete. If you're really looking to further your education as a guitarist and you want to take it a step further, I recommend you get with a really good teacher that's going to help coach you and guide you through this process. Theory can be a little bit confusing, and understanding the modes together can be a little bit confusing. So if you were, for instance, an actual student of mine, not only would I give you this information, but I'd help guide you step by step to making it happen anytime you want. So without further ado, let's move on to the video. We're going to go to part one right now. Alrighty guys, part one here, we are talking about all the different scale modes. Now these are just the basic ones. There's a total of 7 notes in each major scale, so that means starting out you have a total of 7 different scale modes. You have Ionian, you have Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. Then you're going to start back over at Ionian. And so from here you can move up playing all the different scale modes, Ionian through Locrian. And the very first thing I would recommend you do is either tab it all out or write it all out on like a blank fretboard template. Write out all the scale modes so you can see them. It doesn't matter what key you use. I'm using C just because it's very simple, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. But for yourself, you can do whatever you'd like. But I'd write out all of those on a blank fretboard tab sheet or whatever you want to do. But from there, learn to play all of them. Get the right fingerings and figure out what it is. I'll make it really simple for you. There are 3 shapes for your fingers when it comes to the major scale modes. If I'm doing the, basically you have a whole step on each string, which means you go whole step from one note to the next. It's a whole step, then a whole step to the next one. I always use first, second, fourth for that, every time. Do the same thing. And then the next one is going to be a half step, whole step. That again, first, second, fourth. And then when I go to the next one, the final one, I'm going to do a whole step, half step. That's going to be 1, 3, 4. So in every scale mode, whether I use the Aeolian, still follows the same example. I can use the Locrian scale. So the very first thing you need to do is recognize patterns. See things that line up the right way, see things that work together, and utilize those. Use that as often as you can. So that's all there is for part one, is just go through and figure out all of those scale modes. They all use the same notes. So in the key of C, the C Ionian, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The next one would be the D Dorian. So you'd have D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Same notes, we've just shifted everything over one. Very easy, and it does it for all 7 scale modes. So try that out and do it, and if you feel like you have that down, move on to part 2. What's up guys, welcome to part 2 for Lead Guitar Fridays, and for part 2 here, it's more so playing in context. What I want you to do is be able to distinguish between different sounds in all of the scales. Though yes, they're the same notes, this is showing you that order makes a big difference. What I have a backing track here. And with this backing track, I'm just simply going to go through all of the major scales. Now that's a C major 7 that's playing. Now if you want to do this, I am going to have a link in here. I'm going to have a link to one of my backing tracks that I've got put up. And what you can do is you can use that one. It's an A chord, so they're using A. Sorry, I'm in my 8-string guitar, so it's a little fun. So you can use the A backing track, and you can just play all the A major scale modes. Same shapes, just starting on an A. Alright, but I'm going to do it just now and give you guys an example using the C, and I want you guys to kind of hear that there's a really big difference between it. First, I'm just going to drop the volume a little bit on the drums, and here we go. And we are going to get started here. Remember, this is in the key of C. Down an octave lower. Next up, we're at the Aeolian. Finally, the Locrian. Okay, so the very interesting thing about it is it's not that bad to play all of them. Now that was just over the C major. You could do this with every, and it was a C major 7. You could do this with every chord within the key. Now if you don't know the major key chord formula, I strongly recommend check that out sometime. See what the major key chord formula is, and see if you guys can kind of figure that out. But surprise, it has to do with all the chords, how they line up together with this. So the way that all of the chords line up together within a key is known as the major key chord formula. So, but if you don't know that, this is going to be a little more difficult. But if you guys did not feel comfortable going through this and just being able to understand what I'm talking about, all the scale modes, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian, if you don't feel like that was a comfortable thing for you, then I recommend you go ahead and follow the link in the description and sign up for guitar lessons at my studio, because that's the easiest thing you're going to do at my studio. We're going to do things far beyond that regarding lead guitar. But something you can do right now is just learn to hear the way that each of those notes sound and each of those scales sound. So, without further ado, guys, this is Josiah with The Works Guitars, and this is another Lead Guitar Fridays for you. I'll catch you guys next time.